Right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality Cast. I am one of your hosts, Chris Phelps, and my co-host and very good friend is Mr. Dave Horrocks.
Hey there, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. We're back with a bit of UK Love Island, and Chris, I'm so excited.
Well, Dave, you know this is my favourite show. So I've been putting it on my social media, my Facebook. I've been getting loads of abuse from my mates. People have been coming up to me in anticipation. You know, there's just as we've finished and we're recording this, there's been a massive load of football games, Dave, and they're all giving me text messages saying, wait till I see you tomorrow at work, Chris, because they know that I've been sat there with the football to the side and on my main TV has been Love Island, Dave, and I don't give a fuck, to be honest, because I am glad we are back doing what we love. So, where do you want to... Well, in fact, Dave, we've got a couple of announcements.
Well, just before we go on to that, you know, I do find it fascinating how offended people get that people were watching Love Island last night. So basically, for people who don't know, there was a great game of football with France and Switzerland, and, you know, the French brilliant team were clearly expected to win. We're 3-1 up at one point, and then the Swiss pulled it back to 3-3, and then it ended up going to penalties. Brilliant goals, end to end. You couldn't call it. And then one of the world's best players, you know, misses the decisive penalty. So social media is going mental. I must admit, Chris, you know, I was watching Love Island, but I did have the football on the TV, so I was kind of multitasking there. But I noticed on social media, people are like, imagine, Chris, watching Love Island when this great football is on. It's like, look, you do you.
I know.
And everyone else will do themselves. It just baffles me, Chris, why people get so offended by it. They get really angry about it.
It's funny, isn't it? Because I don't care what people think. It's one of them things where I like it. I like reality stuff. Don't get me started. We've just got to the end of Married to Medicine, Dave, and we're on the season reunion. And my God, was it amazing this last week. Been a bit slow in play. This last couple of episodes, we were going crazy, me and Sam. And I'm like, if my mates could see me now.
So you say you don't care. You kind of do. It's like me. It's like I say I don't care, but like I say, it is a little bit of a needle. It does. Well, it baffles me more than annoys me. I just find it weird how people want to inflict their own choices onto everyone else.
I agree, Dave. And as a gamer, plenty of stick for my mates, but it's like, well, I'll sit there watching the soaps if you want, or what do you want me to do? You know, you only sit there looking at a screen. My screen is playing computer games, Dave, and that's it. I like playing them. So everybody has what they like, and you should never deviate from that. That is Chris's lesson for today. And that's about the only logical thing I'm going to say, Dave, because the rest of it is going downhill rapid. So before we get into the episode, we've got a bit of an announcement, haven't we, Dave, for our Patreons? We've had a great bit of buzz this evening. Yeah,
so it came to us in a dream, didn't it, Chris, over the weekend? No, it
sounds nice.
No, we were just thinking, and lots of people have been sort of saying, how do we watch this and what have you? And we just thought, well, we've been using Discord for a while, haven't we? You know, we use it for our one of our other podcasts, and all the creators collaborate in there. And that's how we did the. We used Zoom, didn't we, for the video content we stuck up on our Patreon?
Yes.
But we were just talking about it, and I thought, well, actually, why don't we have a watch party, Chris? A Love Island watch party. Now, it doesn't work with all the different time zones perfectly, you know, because it's 9:00 in the UK, but obviously on the East Coast, it's like 4:00 in the afternoon. On the West Coast, it's like 1:00 in the afternoon. So we thought, wow, screw it. Well, if we just have it, you know, just small little group for our Patreons, then it'll be a lot of fun. And you know what, Chris? I loved it. It was brilliant.
Good. So no, David, it was hosted very well by you. I was the social media guru as well, and I was throwing out plenty of barbs as we were watching the show. So I was keeping an eye on the Discord channel, but it was a great idea. And I take all the responsibility and all the fame for it, even though it was your idea, Dave. So, no, honestly, it was a good laugh. And it's good everyone to connect and just like be outraged by these people and who likes who and who doesn't in the chat. So it was really good. And big thanks, Dave. We have a new Patreon as well. So our good friend Hayley's come over from the VHS Strikes Back, and now she's over on the CD Reality Cast. So welcome to the family, Hayley. And another good member on Discord, Dave. So having a good chat with her. So that's brilliant news. So we've, also Lucky Lulu Green, we've got Kent Gustafsson, and we've got my good friend, Frenemy. Is it Frenemy? Yeah, Frenemy. Lauren as well. Yeah.
I do enjoy like seeing you take the abuse in real time as opposed to an email. So,
yes.
That was good fun for me, if no one else.
Thanks, Dave. But no, honestly, thanks, guys, for supporting us. And it's patreon.com/CD RealityCast. But we have other news regarding this watch party, don't we, Dave?
We absolutely do, Chris. So what we're going to try and do for our patrons is we'll try and replay the episode the day after, at a slightly different time, a little bit earlier. But we're going to try and do this for the whole stretch. We're going to do it for the whole 6 weeks because it was just so much fun doing it for the premiere. And I just think let's carry on doing it. So, I can't wait. I mean, by week 4... I may be less enthused, but no, I just think it's a great way for us to interact and watch and as things are going on, comment about what's happening in the episode and stuff. So it was just absolutely brilliant.
It was. No, big thanks as well, guys. So Dave, let's get into the episode. Where do you want to start first?
Well, we get our format. So if you listen to our preview episode, it's the same thing. And you know what, Chris, I'm going to have to call myself out here because I occasionally get a bit jaded, don't I, with The Bachelor in particular. I'm like, it's the same fucking thing. It's the same script every time with just different actors in the script. And with Love Island, I'm like, oh, this is where they come up and the two girls come in and then they meet all the other girls and then they do the couple ceremony kind of thing. Like, it's the same thing, isn't it? It's exactly the same script every time. But for some reason, I just love this bit a little bit more. I mean, we got to meet the girls, didn't we? Which we talked about on our preview episode. But my favorite bit, the bit that really said to me, Love Island is back, is when Jake walks in, and they cut to the break, didn't they? They cut to the adverts. Yeah. And I thought no one was going to step forward for him, because they show a bit of the VT. He's a good looking lad, isn't he? He sort of reminds me a bit of Eden from the first Australian Love Island season, and he's probably a bit shorter. He's got a bit of a David Beckham thing as well, hasn't he? He's like absolutely Adonis to look at, but as soon as he opens his mouth, it's like, ooh. But no, I think when they came back from the break, obviously Liberty stepped forward for him, and then they ended up coupling up. But anything catch your eye from that initial coupling ceremony?
Well, Dave, I think Liberty may be the female version of me because she doesn't shut the fuck up. She was over-analysing every. Thank you, Dave. But I do think they look aesthetically a great couple together. Interesting. Jake, obviously, he's got a bit about him. He's got a great body on him. I mean, all the guys work out, Dave. They're all in good shape. But I think when they're all stood in a line, it's just that cattle market. Like, are they going to pick me? Are they going to stand? And I tell you, I didn't like, Dave. So, and I know this can be controversial now.
Just hold on, Chris. I'm just going to pull up a chair. Here's some rope. I'm just going to sit here with my popcorn. Go on.
Right. I'm not feeling Sharon, Dave. I'm not feeling her at all. I think she was quiet, arsey with people, a bit stuck up her own arse, if I'm being honest. And I could be wrong. I'm happy to eat humble pie. Chris has been wrong once in the past. I don't know what year that was, Dave, but there was a time I was wrong. But there's just something about her that's a bit off, and I don't understand watching her through the episode what a game is at the moment. So I'm not sure about her. From the guys, I don't know about Jake, Dave. He seemed a really nice lad. Yeah, good lad. I think Toby's the one who's standing out who could be a player because the fucking football stuff.
He's a fucking. He might be one sort of player. He ain't a fucking football.
He's not
player,
a footballer. I'm a pro footballer. And
fucking hashtag United.
Yeah. Hashtag United. Social media team. So really, you're not. You're a Sunday League fucking player. I'm sure he's a good footballer, but it's like, you're not. I've never heard of hashtag United. That just absolutely screams to me a load of fucking deadbeat ex-Love Island fucking people have created a football team who go around and ask people to pay him to play football against the Hollyoaks fucking team that go around and Coronation Street and all these other fucking no marks. That's all that is. When he said it, Dave, I literally was cringing going, oh my God. That's like saying you're a boxer because you've done a couple of fucking boxing lessons or something. I'm just like, there's levels to this game. But I do think he come across well in parts, Toby, but then other parts I was like, oh, here we go. But other than that, the others seemed quite vanilla. I think Kaz is a nice girl, definitely. And Aaron seemed all right as well, Dave. He seemed like a good guy.
Yeah. But I'm not letting you off the hook just yet. Right?
Move on,
so getting
quick.
back to Sharon. Right? What is it that rubs you the wrong way with her?
She's just through the episode. She just seems a bit arsey to me. And my reality radar was on, Dave. It was on with her straight away. I'm like, yeah, she's another one. And I think Liberty's going to be the one who's going to get her heart broken in this series, Dave. I do. I really do.
Right. Back to Sharon.
No,
right?
Just keep moving away from her. I'm trying to get away.
No, because I think I can put into words what you're sort of feeling.
Yeah.
She at the moment, right? There's an interesting power shift, isn't there, in this first episode? Because the guys walk in and they get to, the girls rather get to step forward. But then the guys have to choose someone anyway. So I feel, Chris, even though the guys get the choice here, the power is still with the girls because they can either step forward or not. And the guy basically gets a choice. But, it's up to me if I'm going to let him know that, I find him attractive or what have you. But then going through the episode, Sharon, she'd coupled up with Hugo, who seems like an incredibly nice guy.
Yes.
But, he's a bit too nice. And I think the vibes that you're picking up from Sharon, I think she just thinks she's a bit better than everyone else.
Mm.
And, she's talking about him and like, oh, I can't even make eye contact. And he's walking off. It's just a bit too nice. He's got to get everyone fucking drinks, Chris. You know what I mean? It's just sort of probably moan about, she'll probably pick some bastard and then moan that men are all the same, because she gets fucked over. So I'm not making the same judgment as you, but I think those are the vibes that you're picking up on. But I tell you what will change, Chris, and we'll jump around this episode. This is going to be a little bit unstructured, these Love Island episodes. When we get Chloe, dialing in at the end and she walks in, you see the faces on the girls because there's now going to be 6 girls in the villa and the power changes, doesn't it? So all through the episode, the power's been with the girls. Now, fucking Hugo there, nice guy Hugo, he's going to be a hot commodity.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just think I'm not completely agreeing with you, but I think I know where you're coming from with Sharon initially.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned Hugo. Hugo could be Dr. Alex, Dave, who I don't know if that was. Did you see that series with Dr. Alex? So Dr. Alex was a series before we started the podcast. Great guy. He's actually works part of the government now. He's part of like the mental health awareness. He's a doctor who came on. Lovely lad, great educated kid. Got fucking nowhere with any of the girls, Dave. And I've got a feeling Hugo could be that. So, and I'm actually taking that from one of our followers on social media who said it, and I was like, yeah, that's exactly what he's like, Dr. Alex. So he was such a lovable guy. Everyone loved him, but he was that classic line of, he's like a little brother to me. You know, that type of situation. So I think that's coming. But Dave, they still use him with nearly 2 years properly since we've had a proper Love Island, 18 months. He's my type on paper. And it's fucking there again. And apparently, I didn't see it, was Sam saw that Laura Whitmore had it on her in her headband or on her.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she had my type on paper. But I will say the power move, Dave. You said about power move. Aaron has got some bollocks on him because he had Faye and Kaz step forward for him, but he picked Shannon. And that he was like, nope, Shannon's the type of girl I'm attracted to. Used to her, good looking, but sees later. And I thought that was very brave of him, Dave.
Brave or stupid? Because I don't think I've seen that before, where you get a couple of girls stepping forward. 9 times out of 10, they're going to go with whoever steps forward.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen it where you get a couple of girls stepping forward and then you just pick someone else. Fair play to him. He knows what he likes. But especially the way the episode played out, she's just not into him at all.
No, not at all. I agree. She's completely off kilter. And she said he's a lovely guy. She's not open to something maybe happening, but she just said he's not her type. So that's interesting. You're right, Dave, because she would have stepped forward, wouldn't she, if she was interested. So interesting power move. But I love that because you had Hugo and Toby on the subs bench, didn't you, at one point? So they all end up in couples by sort of proxy because of the way the situation goes through the episode. But when I said when we laughed, Dave, it all seemed to, this first episode really surrounded Liberty and Jake, didn't it? And there was this like...
A lot of it, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of it. Kaz and Liberty seem to have got a nice bond together, good friends. And they were laughing and squealing about daft things and like, go and have a chat with him, have a chat with him. They go to have a chat. But someone... Oh, I tell you who took the piss. I tell you why I went a bit off Sharon. You said about think she's better than people. When she had a pop at Jake and he snapped back about him wearing white pants. And that straight away, that's where the radar kicked in with her, Dave. It's come back to me. But that's exactly why. Because then there was all snipey comments through the episode for that. And then Jake was getting taken the piss out of because he was vertically challenged. He's not very tall. So I think I was like, come on. I think Kaz had said something about Toby. She wanted him to be bigger, like get on the weights and stuff and all this. There was quite some weird conversations going on.
Bit of body shaming in episode 1.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think you're right about Liberty. She might be the sort who kind of falls quite quickly, quite fast. And you know, she seemed to be getting on with Jake, but then he was saying to the lads, you know, I'm not really feeling it. You know, so Jake is a prime one, isn't he? Who is his head's gonna be turned multiple times, even before we get to Casa Amor, I think.
Yeah. I agree. And I will say, and we haven't mentioned him yet, Dave, but I think the best looking guy being in there at the moment, I think, is Brad. What a good looking kid he is, Dave.
I tell you what, those are dreamy blue eyes, aren't they?
I know. I got lost in him myself, Dave. I've got to be honest.
Especially when he's in like the diary room and he's got the tan on. It's like, wow, those are like pools. Yeah,
he's a. And we had Liberty and... Was it Faye stepped forward for?
Yeah.
They both stepped forward. Liberty, and I think Jake made a joke about, "Oh, she's come back to me anyway" because he didn't pick her. But yeah, I think that's a nice little power couple there, Dave. It was Brad and Faye, wasn't it, together? Yeah,
but so Brad and Faye. I mean, I like Brad. He's good Newcastle lad. So usually, from that part of the world, pretty down to earth, aren't they? Of course, Amber from UK season 5 ended up winning it, didn't she?
Yeah.
I think Faye got chosen quite a few times, didn't she? And then she's ended up coupling up with Brad. Clearly fancies him, but she just didn't seem interested when he was talking, and she was talking about him, talking in circles, and she's not really sure. And you can see her sort of like looking away and pulling faces and stuff. So I don't know. I don't think that's going to be. I don't think there's much in there, even though aesthetically, they both fit together very nicely. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be much with them two.
No. And I know it was quite a steady episode. And I think the thing is as well, we did the preview last week, and the preview is basically pretty much most of this episode. All the VTs that we've done on the podcast and our Patreon saw the video version was what we saw tonight, wasn't it, of each contestant? So that took up a lot of time. So we're sort of treading over old ground with that. But there's a little bit of salt there, Dave. There's a little bit of salt just on poured under a few wounds I can see opening. So it's just bubbling up nicely, I think.
I think it is, but I do like the fact that we went through every single contestant, and then, you know, when they get the call through from the girl and you post in our Discord, who's that on the phone?
I was being genuine as well.
No, I know. That's what I mean. Like, we've been through every contestant who's not there.
Don't worry. When we've done other shows, I've made contestants up, and I've gone with you going, there's another one there. You're like, no, Chris, there isn't another contestant. That's all. No, and I don't know what show I was watching, but it wasn't.
It's like me when I get a name. It's like Marcus on The Bachelorette last week. You know, yeah, Marcus, fucking Thomas, wasn't it?
I know when you've done it, but I don't want to like disturb you when you're full flow. So I just sort of got to go, Dave.
He'll sleep tonight.
Yeah. So have you got anything else, Dave? Because we've got a letter as well from my good friend Didi.
Yeah, so we had a few challenges, didn't we? I think these are pretty nasty, some of them. You know, the old toe sucking one.
Oh,
is not great. I just, you know, it's the first night, you know, but I guess it does break down some barriers. But I don't think I'd be into that, Chris.
No, the ear one's passable. When Sharon was doing it on Hugo, but then we had a full snog. We had Jake doing the gyrating, didn't we, and all that on Liberty. Yeah. And he takes his shirt off, and
he's done that before, hasn't he?
Well, definitely. And Brad and Faye had a kiss, but they said he went on too long. It was a bit awkward. That was 30 seconds. So yeah, it's his usual
4 out of 10 as well.
I know. Well, she said it was good, but she's going to tell him it was a 4, Dave, because she didn't want to, you know. Yeah. You've got to understand that, Dave. You know what I mean? Sam knows that it's a 10 out of 10 when she locks lips with me, Dave. So, you know.
The trading standards will be in.
Yeah. Wants a refund on it, I think.
But no, great episode. Obviously, you know, it closes with Chloe doing the walk into the villa. So she's going to ruffle some feathers early on. This is where we're going to see the dynamic tomorrow change. And, you know, everyone's going to be like, oh, we've been together forever. You know, we've been in like a 2-year marriage and behave like that. I think you're going to see people like Sharon is going to switch. She's going to suddenly feel like her place is under threat. So she's going to be, you know, warming to Hugo a lot quicker than she was in this first episode. But Chris, absolutely love it. Can't wait for tomorrow.
Oh, I can't wait, Dave. So we've created a monster. We're going to try and do this every day, Dave. But before I know we're embarking on this another Love Island journey, we have got an email from our good friend Didi about The Bachelorette, Dave, which we will be recording tomorrow. Yay! So
yay.
That's the more realistic yay. So it's entitled My Thoughts About Episode 3 last week. Hi, Chris and Dave. Wow, I was a wordy in my last email. I'll try to be more concise, but I wanted to share a couple of thoughts about Katie's episode last week and looking forward for tonight's drama. Oh, Carl. Just throwing something against the wall to see what sticks. Sure, plenty of guys are there because they want to go on TV and get away from work. Why not? She's not wrong. Including Carl, I would venture to say. This is the last rose tonight, and the touch on the shoulder or the small of the back is clearly a ritual that is here to stay. Gotta say, I love the unionization play by the guys to let Katie know Carl was making up bullshit. The Bachelorette, get the fuck out of here if you aren't here for me. Freak out is kind of a standard each Bachelorette season. It seems a little early on this time round. I think Katie knows how to play the game. I doubt she was actually all that upset. New conspiracy theory, Dave. Well, I agree with that completely. I think we both do. The Circle of Doom, where all the guys are sharing their stuff. Plenty of people thought it was kind of terrible to ask guys to do that, and they aren't wrong. But I really like hearing some actual stuff from people, except Thomas, not Marcus, by the way, Dave. Laugh out loud. Who admits to nothing. He sounds like a guy from Hannah Brown's season, Jed Wyatt, who said he had come onto the show for a platform in his music career and then fell for Hannah. Okay, no. Intervention is the word Dave was looking for. It baffles me as to why Blake is coming. Smells like a bachelor run to me. He falls in love with whatever bachelorette is in front of him. I'm afraid I won't be able to watch Love Island UK until Netflix or Hulu decide to show it for free. Probably some months down the road, but I hope you guys can also recap Love Island US. Yes, we are there, Dee. So much drama, so little time. You might need a sabbatical from your day jobs, if only someone would pay us, Dave. I won't be too upset if you put Bachelorette on pause for a bit and maybe you can come back to it. Sending love from the hot Arizona desert, Dee. So another amazing email. Thank you, Dee.
That's fantastic. And yes, Thomas is a douchebag. He's definitely, the most blatant there, not there for the right reasons, as they all aren't. But, some are more blatant about it than others.
So tonight, Dave, I had loads of my friends messaging me saying that they've been roped in apparently by their other half, their girlfriend or wife or partner. Utter bullshit, guys. And they listen to the podcast, Dave, so I know who you are. And if you carry on giving me abuse, I will be outing you on the show. So, big thanks to them as well for tuning in. But if you want to follow us on social media, guys, at CD RealityCast. If you want to email us, the cdrealitycast@gmail.com. And like we said at the top of the show, patreon.com/CD RealityCast. So if you do want to support us, get over there, guys. And we really appreciate all the support. And if you are a Patreon, we do have a Discord channel where you can get over there and support us. And if you do want to watch the show with us and then like a party, we will be there every day.
Awesome. Mike Burton from the Genuine Chit Chat and Star Wars Comics in Canon podcast messaged me and said, are you guys doing Too Hot to Handle? He's another one who doesn't do the reality TV, but he's got looped in by his girlfriend, apparently, Chris. So
amazing.
All these secret people watching it in private, and it's like, hell of a game.
Amazing.
That is fantastic. So again, we should be back later today if you're going to be listening to our Love Island and Bachelorette recaps. Let's see. I need to watch the damn thing first.
That's true.
Chris, it is great to be back, and we'll be back again the same time tomorrow.
Take care, everyone. Bye.